Have you ever felt like you were born for something greater? Like your very existence is part of a grand design, yet you can't quite articulate what it is? You wake up some days with a sense that the world isn't as random as it seems, that there's a deeper meaning behind everything behind you. Let me tell you, this feeling isn't an accident. It's not just a passing thought. It's a whisper from the divine, calling you to remember who you are. And today, we're going to explore the 5 signs that prove you're one of the most powerful chosen ones. But first, let's set the stage. I want you to imagine you're walking through a dense forest. The air is thick with silence, except for the faint rustle of leaves. The light filters through the trees, and for a moment, you feel as though the world is watching you. Not in a paranoid way, but in an ancient, knowing way. In that moment, you feel both incredibly small and immensely significant. Have you ever felt that? That duality of being? That's the starting point of awakening. It's the universe nudging you to pay attention, to notice the signs all around you. The first sign we'll discuss is subtle, yet profound. It's the sense that you've always been different. Not in the way society labels people as unique or quirky, but in a way that's almost unexplainable. You've always felt a disconnection from the ordinary flow of life. Maybe you've struggled to fit into social norms, or you found yourself asking questions others are too afraid to ask. Why am I here? What's the purpose of all this? Who am I really? These aren't just philosophical musings, they're echoes from your soul. They're the first threads pulling you toward your higher purpose.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound insights.
But being different comes with a cost, doesn't it? It can feel isolating, even lonely. You might have noticed that your energy doesn't match the environments you're in. Perhaps you've walked into a room and felt overwhelmed, as if you could sense the emotions of every person there. Or maybe you've been told you're too sensitive or too intense. Let me tell you this, your sensitivity is not a weakness. It's a divine gift. It's one of the clearest signs that you are among the chosen. You're wired differently because your purpose demands it. Now, I want to ask you something. When was the last time you truly listened to your intuition? Not the surface level voice that tells you what feels comfortable, but the deeper, quieter voice that speaks from your soul. Because here's the thing, intuition is one of the most powerful tools a chosen one has. It's like a compass, constantly pointing you toward your path, even when the way forward seems dark or uncertain. And yet, so many of us ignore it. Why? Out of fear, out of doubt, out of a lack of trust in ourselves. What would happen if you trusted your intuition completely? How would your life change? Another sign that you're one of the chosen is the presence of synchronicities in your life. You know what I'm talking about, those moments that seem too perfectly timed to be coincidences. Maybe it's a number that keeps appearing like 1111, or a song that plays at just the right moment, or a stranger who says exactly what you needed to hear. These events aren't random. They're the universe's way of communicating with you, guiding you toward your purpose. But here's the catch, you have to be paying attention. Most people brush these moments off as mere chance, but a chosen one knows better. A chosen one listens, observes, and acts. And then there's the inner conflict. Oh, this is a big one. Being chosen doesn't mean your life is easy. In fact, it's often the opposite. You've probably faced challenges that felt insurmountable, struggles that made you question everything. But here's the secret, those challenges were never meant to break you. They were meant to shape you, to refine you, to prepare you for the immense power you carry. Think about it, diamonds only form under immense pressure. Steel is only forged in fire. What if the hardships you faced were the universe's way of preparing you for something extraordinary? Take a moment to reflect on this. What's the hardest thing you've ever been through? What did it teach you? How did it change you? Because I guarantee you, the lessons you've learned are directly tied to your purpose. The pain you've endured wasn't meaningless. It was a divine sign that you're being called to rise above, to step into your power, to become the person you were always meant to be. But here's where it gets tricky. Many chosen ones resist their calling. Why? Because it's terrifying. To step into your power means to let go of everything that doesn't align with your true self. It means shedding old beliefs, old habits, even old relationships. It means embracing the unknown, trusting in something greater than yourself. And that's not easy. But let me tell you this, the moment you stop resisting, the moment you surrender to your purpose, your entire life will shift. Doors you never imagined will open. People who resonate with your energy will find you. Opportunities that seemed impossible will appear. But it all starts with a choice to say yes to your calling. I want to end this part with a question, and I want you to really sit with it, to let it sink in. If you knew, without a shadow of a doubt, that you were chosen for something extraordinary, how would you live your life differently? What would you stop doing? What would you start doing? Who would you become? So you've felt the call. You've started to notice the signs. Maybe you've even begun to accept that you are one of the chosen ones. But here's where the real journey begins. Because being chosen isn't just a title, it's a responsibility. And with that responsibility comes challenges that will test you, shape you, and ultimately transform you into the most powerful version of yourself. But let's be honest, the path isn't easy. It's not supposed to be. If it were, everyone would walk it. But you were made for this. You were chosen for this. Let's talk about one of the most difficult aspects of being chosen: isolation. Have you ever felt like you don't belong? Like no matter how hard you try, you just can't seem to connect with the people around you. Maybe it's because your thoughts run deeper than most. Maybe it's because you see the world differently. Or maybe it's because deep down you know that your path is meant to be walked alone, at least for a while. This isolation isn't a punishment, it's a preparation. Think about it, every great spiritual leader, every enlightened soul has gone through a period of solitude. Jesus spent 40 days in the desert. Buddha meditated under the Bodhi tree. These moments of isolation weren't accidents. They were necessary. Why? Because in solitude, we find clarity. We strip away the noise of the world and come face to face with our true selves. And let's be real, that's not always comfortable. In fact, it can be downright terrifying. Because when you're alone, there's no one to distract you from your doubts, your fears, your insecurities. But here's the thing, those doubts and fears are part of the process. They're not there to stop you, they're there to teach you, to challenge you, to help you grow. So, the next time you feel isolated, I want you to ask yourself, what is this moment trying to teach me? What part of myself am I meant to discover? Because I promise you, the answers are there if you're willing to listen. And then there's the doubt. Oh, the doubt. It creeps in when you least expect it, doesn't it? You start questioning everything. Am I really chosen? Or is this just my ego talking? Am I making this up? What if I'm wrong? These are the questions that haunt the chosen ones. And let me tell you, they're not just normal, they're necessary. Because doubt is the fire that forges faith. It's the darkness that makes the light shine brighter. But here's the key, you can't let the doubt consume you. You have to face it, question it, and then rise above it. How? By remembering who you are. by trusting in the signs you've already seen, by leaning into your intuition even when it doesn't make logical sense. Because here's the truth, the path of the chosen one isn't about logic. It's about faith. It's about trust. It's about surrendering to something greater than yourself. I want you to think about a time when you doubted yourself, when you thought you couldn't do something, but you did it anyway. What pushed you through? What gave you the strength to keep going? That strength is still inside you. It always has been, and it always will be. You just have to access it. Another challenge that comes with being chosen is the weight of your power. Let's not sugarcoat it. Being powerful can be overwhelming. When you start to realize how much influence you have over your own life, over the lives of others, over the world, it can feel like too much. You might even be tempted to shrink yourself, to hide your light, to play small. Why? Because it's safer, because it's easier, because stepping into your full power means taking full responsibility for your life, and that's scary. But let me tell you something, the world doesn't need you to play small. It doesn't need you to hide your light. It needs you to shine as brightly as you possibly can, because when you do, you give others permission to do the same. You become a beacon, a guide, a source of inspiration. And that's what being chosen is all about. It's not about you. It's about the impact you're meant to have on the world. So how do you step into your power? How do you embrace it without letting it overwhelm you? The answer is simple, but not easy. You have to align with your purpose. You have to figure out why you were chosen and then dedicate yourself to that mission with everything you have. And here's the thing, your purpose isn't something you find. It's something you remember. It's already inside you, waiting to be uncovered. The question is, are you willing to do the work to uncover it? One of the ways to uncover your purpose is through stillness. In our modern world, we're so used to constant stimulation, phones, social media, work, relationships, that we rarely take the time to just be. But stillness is where the magic happens. It's where the answers come. So I challenge you, take 5 minutes today to sit in silence. No phone, no distractions, just you and your thoughts. See what comes up. See what your soul is trying to tell you. Another way to step into your power is by embracing your gifts. And yes, you have gifts. Whether it's your intuition, your empathy, your creativity, or something else entirely, you were given these abilities for a reason. They're not random. They're tools meant to help you fulfill your purpose. So I want you to ask yourself, what am I naturally good at? What brings me joy? What makes me feel alive? Because those are clues. They're breadcrumbs leading you toward your destiny. But here's the catch, stepping into your power isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily practice. It's waking up every morning and choosing to align with your purpose. It's making decisions that honor your soul, even when they're difficult. It's trusting in the universe, even when the path ahead is unclear. And most importantly, it's believing in yourself, even when no one else does. I want to leave you with another question, and I want you to answer it honestly, from the depths of your soul. If you fully stepped into your power, if you stopped doubting, stopped hiding, stopped playing small, what would your life look like? Who would you become? And what impact would you have on the world? You felt the call. You faced the isolation, the doubt, and the weight of your power. Now the question remains, what do you do with it? Being one of the chosen isn't just about realizing your potential, it's about using it. It's about stepping into your divine mission and living with such clarity and purpose that your very existence becomes a ripple of transformation in the world. But how do you do that? How do you live as a chosen one in a world that often feels chaotic, distracted, and disconnected from the divine? first, let's talk about purpose. Purpose isn't just about what you do, it's about who you are. It's the energy you bring into every moment of your life. It's the way you show up for yourself, for others, and for the world. Many people think purpose is some grand, unattainable thing, like saving the planet or becoming a world leader. And while those may be valid for some, purpose is often found in the small, quiet moments. It's in the way you smile at a stranger, the way you listen deeply to a friend, the way you create something beautiful or meaningful. Purpose isn't something external. It's something you carry within you every single day. But here's the thing: to live your purpose, you have to let go of everything that's not aligned with it. And that's harder than it sounds. It means letting go of old habits, old beliefs, and sometimes even old relationships. It means saying no to the things that drain your energy and saying yes to the things that light you up, even if they scare you. Because here's the truth: your purpose will often take you outside of your comfort zone. It will challenge you, it will push you, but it will also set you free. I want you to ask yourself this: what do you need to let go of to live your purpose? What's holding you back? Maybe it's fear. Maybe it's self-doubt. Maybe it's a toxic relationship or a limiting belief. Whatever it is, it's time to release it, because you can't step into your destiny while holding on to what no longer serves you. Now, let's talk about service. Because being chosen isn't just about you. It's about the impact you're meant to have on the world. And here's the beautiful thing: you don't have to be perfect to serve. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to show up as you are and offer what you can. Maybe that's your wisdom. Maybe it's your creativity. Maybe it's simply your presence. Whatever it is, it's enough. You are enough. But service isn't always glamorous. Sometimes it's messy. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. Sometimes it looks like holding space for someone who's struggling or standing up for what's right, even when it's hard. But this is where your power comes in. As a chosen one, you have the strength to do what others won't. You have the courage to walk into the fire, to face the darkness, to bring light where there is none. This is your gift. This is your mission. And here's the thing about service: it's not about recognition. It's not about getting something in return. It's about giving from a place of abundance, of love, of alignment with your purpose. When you serve from this place, you don't just change the world, you change yourself. You grow. You expand. You become the person you were always meant to be. But living with purpose and serving the world requires something else: trust. You have to trust in the divine plan, even when it doesn't make sense. You have to trust that every experience, every triumph, every failure, every moment of joy, every moment of pain is part of your journey. You have to trust that the universe is guiding you, even when the path ahead is unclear. And most importantly, you have to trust in yourself. Because you are not here by accident. You are not chosen by chance. You are here for a reason, and you are more capable, more powerful, and more divine than you can possibly imagine. I want you to think about a time when you felt completely aligned with your purpose. Maybe it was a moment when you lost track of time because you were so immersed in what you were doing. Maybe it was a moment when you helped someone and felt a deep sense of fulfillment. Whatever it was, hold on to that feeling, because that's what alignment feels like. And the more you align with your purpose, the more of those moments you'll experience. But here's the question: how do you stay aligned? How do you live with purpose every day, even when the world tries to pull you off track? The answer is simple practices. Daily practices that keep you grounded, connected, and focused. Maybe it's meditation. Maybe it's journaling. Maybe it's spending time in nature or creating something with your hands. Whatever it is, find what works for you and commit to it. Because purpose isn't something you stumble upon, it's something you cultivate. It's something you choose again and again, every single day. And then there's surrender. This might be the hardest part of all. Because as much as we want to control our lives, as much as we want to plan and predict and prepare, the truth is, the path of the chosen one isn't something you can control. It's something you have to surrender to. You have to let go of your need to know, to understand, to have all the answers. You have to trust that the universe knows what it's doing, even when you don't. And that's not easy, but it's necessary. So, I want to leave you with one final thought. You are not here by accident. You are here because the universe chose you. It chose you to be a light in the darkness, a guide for others, a force for good in the world. And yes, the path is challenging. Yes, it's uncomfortable at times, but it's also beautiful. It's also transformative, and it's worth it. I want to end with a question, and I want you to really sit with it, to let it sink in. If you fully embraced your purpose, if you lived every day as the chosen one you are, how would the world change? What legacy would you leave? And most importantly, who would you become? The answer to that question isn't just your destiny, it's your divine mission, and it's waiting for you to step into it.